In our story, talking about cars and cold weather, these super cold days that we're having right now, the automobile, man, you think it's hard on you. What about your car? I'm talking with a man that I entrust my car to, Andy Harstad, service consultant of, well, several years, many years. We're at the Billion store, the Billion GMC Buick store at 41st and Minnesota here in Sioux Falls. Andy, on a cold day like this, what do we do with our cars? First of all, let's talk about the battery. How old is too old for a battery?
Batteries usually, once they get 5 years or older, start losing their charge and what they can hold. So you certainly want to have them checked after at least 5 years of age. That way you don't be stranded without a car that starts.
All right, so if you got a car that has a battery 4 or 5 years old, it might be a good idea to get to your service department like yours and just do a test. There's a test you can perform on the battery, right?
Absolutely. It just takes a few minutes to hook up a tool to it to find out what the cold cranking amps and how much voltage is left in the battery.
On average, if we have to put a new battery in, could save the day, what are we looking at for a cost on average?
Oh, you can be in the ballpark figure of about $150.
Okay. Another thing would be oil. When that oil gets pretty thick and it's kind of gooey, makes it hard to crank over in the cold weather. What do you recommend there? A synthetic oil or just a lighter weight oil?
Well, all the newer vehicles are required to run a synthetic oil or something equivalent to that, so it's not too much of a concern. Some of the older vehicles, you might want to run something synthetic or even just a blend to help.
Okay. What about gasoline? 10% ethanol. What is your recommendation there?
10% ethanol is still okay. The colder the weather is, the harder alcohol is on a car. Vehicles that run on E85, it's not recommended to do so when it's this cold. Otherwise, 10% is still good.
Gas has to vaporize to fire. Do you recommend any additives to the gas?
Gas anymore is good enough, and enough additives and conditioners they put in there, you don't need to do that anymore.
All right. Well, Andy, we'll let you go. I know you're busy on a cold day like today. What do we want to do to get that car ready? We touched on some things. Do you have a cold weather checklist if somebody wants to bring their car in and have it looked at?
You know, if you bring your car down here, we're going to do a few things. We can check your battery, check your coolant to make sure it's cold enough for this kind of weather. Check your tires. With the cold weather, it makes some tire pressures drop, and the last thing you want to do is see a tire light come on and have to worry about getting outside in this weather and checking tires. So,
automotive specialist Andy Harstad, service consultant, Billion Buick GMC, 41st and Minnesota. Thank you for your time, Andy.
Thank you.